Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. The history. La cultura. Pasión. Orgullo. Join us as we celebrate the many contributions of our Hispanic communities. Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
Good evening, I'm Don Hudson.
And I'm Tirsa Smith. Mid-September through mid-October has been set aside as Hispanic Heritage Month.
Like other months dedicated to people of African American or Asian Pacific Islander descent, the month is a chance for all of us, whatever our backgrounds, to pause and consider the value of America's diversity.
And here at 6 News, it's a chance for us to share the stories and perspectives of our Latino neighbors in East Tennessee.
Tonight, we're starting with a trip to the Knoxville Public Safety Complex, as 6 News reporter Molly O'Brien introduces us to a crime scene technician, finding out how her Hispanic upbringing helps her career.
Rosa Gonzalez knew from a young age that she wanted a career in law enforcement.
As a little girl, I love puzzles and I love looking for clues. And then in high school, they offered one forensics class, and I took that, and oh my gosh, I fell in love with the field.
Gonzalez was born in Mexico. She grew up in Colorado and is the first person in her family to graduate from college. Her parents playing a pivotal role in her life.
I grew up speaking Spanish in the home. My parents always pushed me to really just relentlessly follow my dreams, and they never really wanted me to fit into any kind of mold.
Gonzalez is a latent print examiner for KPD. Part of her job includes examining all of the fingerprints that come from the field. Her upbringing now helping her in her career.
There has been cases I've been involved in where the people do not speak English, and growing up in a Spanish-speaking household, I know how important it is. And also, my biggest thing is there's always been kind of like a disconnect between the Hispanic community and law enforcement. And so anything that I can do to help bridge that gap is definitely very important.
And representation is huge. Gonzalez hopes she inspires other young girls to chase their dreams.
I have a 9-year-old daughter myself, and I just want her to look at me and say, I can be whatever I want. And when I see little girls like that, I want to be an example for them.
In Knoxville, Molly O'Brien, 6 on your side.
Imagine you get hurt. Make it to the hospital, but you can't tell your doctor what's wrong or understand their diagnosis. It's the reality for some of our neighbors.
And recently, I had the chance to meet students getting unique training for a high-demand job, one that is helping to fill the gap for East Tennessee's growing Latino population. Imagine being in the middle of a medical emergency and not being able to communicate with your doctor because you speak Spanish.
So we thought, we have a lot of people who are bilingual, not even bilingual, but multilingual. We have a lot of people who speak dialects. How do we get them in these positions where they're able to make the healthcare landscape look more equitable? And so when we started thinking about that, we thought, okay, well, there's a lot of people who want to go into higher education and they want to go into the medical field. Let's get them started as medical interpreters, give them the training that they need.
Centro Hispano's medical interpreter training program is on its 3rd cohort of aspiring medical interpreters. It started as a partnership with UT Medical Center, but now they've expanded to 5 local medical centers.
Having someone that's there and can advocate for you and let the provider know, hey, this is what the patient is saying, this is what the patient needs, it really puts the patient back in control of their own health care.
The program helps fill the gap for a growing Hispanic population.
Because we're here for them, obviously we're there for the doctor as well, for him to be able to give the message, but we're mostly there for our patients because we don't want them to feel left out or, less because they cannot communicate.
Aspiring medical interpreters like Daniela Lopez and Erica Tomas attended workshops, role-playing scenarios, learned medical vocabulary, and will also undergo a practicum.
And I think it's very important to build that kind of relationship with our community, that they can trust us in interpreting for them, because there is a scarcity in interpreters. And for me, knowing 3 languages, it's very important to be able to use the skills that I was given to help others.
So it's a common misconception that if you're bilingual, you can be a medical interpreter. It's a lot more than that. You need to know terminology. You need to know the ethics behind it. A lot of people think, okay, if I speak Spanish, if I speak a third language, I can be a great medical interpreter. But that's not the case.
Centro Hispano's medical interpreter training program is on its third cohort, and their soon-to-be new jobs are in high demand. For the last month, we've been enjoying a bunch of events celebrating Hispanic heritage and culture, like the annual Hola Festival in Knoxville.
Hosted by Hola Hora Latina, the event showcased the cuisine and traditions of more than 25 Hispanic countries. That means authentic music and dance performances, crafts from local vendors, and educational presentations about each country.
What it means to us is just for people, American people, people that don't know about our culture, just to learn a little bit more, fall in love with the food, fall in love with the music, and just intertwine together as a community.
Still to come, East Tennesseans who speak the language know the culture, and they've spent nearly 2 decades helping your Hispanic neighbors succeed.
And the humble tortilla, cranked out by the hundreds every day. But this staple isn't being cooked up in Central America. We're visiting a place where they're making them fresh right here in East Tennessee.
Stay with us as our celebration of Hispanic heritage in East Tennessee continues on 6 News. One way people share and interact with cultures beyond their own is through food.
Of course. Now, in the 21st century, tacos, burritos, quesadillas, all sorts of foods with Hispanic roots have made their way into red, white, and blue American culture. Something those dishes share, the tortilla.
Yeah, it is a staple food, thousands of years old, an artifact of the Mayan and Aztec civilizations. And as 6 News reporter Ella Wales shows us, there's a place in Knoxville that cranks out tortillas by the hundreds, fresh every day.
Tortillas are definitely a staple. Tortillas you can eat from breakfast, lunch, dinner. Tortillas are never amiss. Like, they're always on the table. Everybody eats them, and tortillas are, everything to our community.
Tortillas have been a key part of the Mexican diet for more than 12,000 years, dating back to the Mayan and Aztec civilizations. At Tio Caneo in North Knoxville, they're made fresh every day. The Mexican restaurant and market is also a tortilla factory. The simple and inexpensive process allows them to churn out hundreds. Take a look.
In the beginning, they do the dough, which is basically just maseca and water. We don't add any kind of preservatives in there. It's like a really soft consistency. You can use it for tamales, you can use it for doing gorditas or huaraches. Basically anything that has like masa in it, you can do with our dough. So he brings the masa in and he places it inside of there, which it then, makes the shape, and it cuts it off right there. And that's how you get the shape of the tortilla. So it'll go down and then it comes back up like that, and it cooks it for the right amount of time. So this is where it comes off, and it sends up this little chain, and it gets picked up over there.
1 pound of tortillas, which includes about 14 of them, is sold for only $1.75 at Tio Conejo. The tortillas are also used for their tacos and tortas and bought by other local restaurants. In Knoxville, Ella Wales, 6 on your side.
Speaking of food, last month crowds came out to Morristown to try foods from all over the world. Ola Lakeway held its annual International Food Festival at the Downtown Green and Farmers Market.
The festival aims to create an opportunity for the community to come together and celebrate the Lakeway area's rich and diverse culture. It also aims to support local businesses and make a positive impact on the local economy.
So Hamilton County, despite its rural nature, it's very, very diverse. We have an established immigrant community that first came here in the 1990s. So integrating both the native-born community and the immigrant community is very important, and we've been fairly successful at doing that. And the growth of this festival and the engagement from the city and the county and all our sponsors is crucial.
Similar stories, similar backgrounds, similar challenges, and thanks to a campus connection, they're forging bonds.
Tonight, 6 News reporter Naomi Hilmer introduces us to Hispanic students supporting each other and sharing their culture on Rocky Top.
In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, UT's Latin American Student Organization came together to celebrate their culture.
We are one of the largest Latin American orgs on campus. Our mission is to bring together students of Latin culture, but also be open to cultures of all kinds. We're not opposed to anyone because we want people to come in and learn about us and engage in the culture.
Their event exemplifying everything they strive for.
They really made me feel at home and kind of just showed me that there is community out here. And even though it isn't a lot, it's not a huge community, the small community that I did find, like it seems very big to me.
Going to a predominantly white institution, many members share a similar story.
It was nice to see someone like me. I know these people have similar backgrounds to me. I know the types of struggles that they've been through. It's like a place to be. It's like I love the community, really brought me in, and I'm really grateful for that.
They say being a part of an organization like this one gives students a space to connect on a deeper level.
I definitely think that sometimes college can be really hard, especially at such a big school. Finding your home or your place, your spot, can be super difficult. But I think through LASSO, they're kind of the umbrella for all our Latin orgs, and it definitely has become a really close-knit community here on campus.
And they want to share their culture with the rest of campus.
I just wanted to make sure that other people got that same feeling at this level, especially with Hispanic students not going to university as much as other races and being first generation. It was just really critical that I form that community for other people as well.
And create an environment where students can feel at home. In Knoxville, Naomi Hilmer, 6 on your side.
Stay with us as our Hispanic Heritage Special focuses on the faith community, with churches around East Tennessee serving the spiritual needs of growing Latino congregations, houses of worship offering support and community in crucial ways.
The language is Spanish, but the excitement is pure Rocky Top. You're going to meet the guys sharing the big orange action with the Hispanic community coming up. You're watching our celebration of Hispanic heritage around East Tennessee on 6 News. Mention Hispanic heritage and sports, and immediately you think of what we call soccer, what most of the world calls football, or in Spanish, fútbol americano.
But plenty of Spanish-speaking people in East Tennessee share in the area's love of, well, football, American football, gridiron football. 6 News reporter Dominic Webster introduces us to a duo bringing the game to those fans in their language with plenty of Big Orange passion.
Aquí viene Pierce con la parte izquierda del campo y dice, aquí no vas para ningún lado, vamos Vols!
If you're listening to Vol football games on 99.1 The Sports Animal, you hear these three, Carlos Lopez, Fuad Rivez, and JP Vasquez. They are bringing Spanish commentary to American football, and it all started with a love for the game.
We were in the living room with this dream of bringing this enthusiasm or bringing this passion that we have for the game of football to the rest of the world, for Vol fans that were like me, that came over here, that couldn't speak English, and that wanted to be a part of it.
Among the trio is Fuad Rivez, former Vol and NFL kicker. It's a full circle moment for him as he remembers how his dad watched him play when he was in the NFL.
When I was playing with the Miami Dolphins, my dad would watch the game on TV, turn the volume down, and put the radio on in Spanish. So it brings back a lot of memories of my dad when he was there watching the game, and that's why he enjoyed it. So that's what we're trying to bring to the home of many folks, that they can just watch the game, maybe turn the volume down and listen to the native language, and that's what makes it fun.
JP Vasquez added what Hispanic Heritage Month means to him and to be a part of this broadcast team.
It is a time where you can celebrate who you are without having to hide who it is. I'm proud to be who I am and to be able to celebrate that here.
Carlos saying this should have already existed.
It should have been done. They should have been over here. Hey, let's do this. What we get to do, it's incredible. It just goes to show you that one of the things that Ryan McGee said, every university needs to have this.
In Knoxville, Dominic Webster, 6 on your side.
As part of our celebration of East Tennessee's Hispanic heritage, we have to put the spotlight on Centro Hispano. It's an organization of people who speak the language, know the culture, and for nearly 2 decades have helped our Latino neighbors succeed.
6 News anchor Lori Tucker brought in Centro Hispano's president to learn about the organization's mission, how you can help, and what the group hopes for all of us.
Claudia Caballero, president and CEO of Centro Hispano, is joining us. And if you have not heard of Centro Hispano, it's a group that works to provide resources for the area's Latino community and also to help the wider community work with our neighbors of Hispanic heritage. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, your website lays out a vision, quote, if one person succeeds, we all succeed. So here's the question for you. What does success look like for the people your group serves?
Oh, wow. Well, that's a great question. There are so many different ways to define success, right? And sometimes it's someone wanting to learn English so they can do a better job at understanding what their kids are doing at school, or they can talk to their doctor. Sometimes success means they came to the U.S. from a different country or maybe another part of the country, and they want a job that reflects the experience they have, and they need help connecting to an organization that might need their expertise. So success can be any of those things. Helping young people figure out how to go to college is another way we talk about success in our organization, in our community.
All different levels.
Absolutely.
We love that. You know, issues of immigration, cultural understanding and misunderstanding are in the headlines right now. We want to let everybody know you're not a political organization, but everyone sees the fear, the anger, the concern in our country today. So what is that like for you and your group?
You know, I appreciate you talking about our organization not being a political organization. Yeah. Immigration is a social issue, and we don't work bringing people to the States. We help people who come to our doors. Many of our population is born in the States, so over 90% of young people under the age of 18 are actually American born. We have folks from all over. It's really not about it's not a debate for my organization necessarily about where people belong. It's how do we help you thrive in the space you're in, right? And so as Latinos in Knoxville grow, so does our whole community, our economic development and the strength of our community.
How can the rest of us help?
There's so many ways to help. We're in Hispanic Heritage Month, so supporting a Latino-owned business is a great opportunity. You have your favorite restaurant, you have your favorite shop. Yeah. You can donate to Centro. I will always say yes to donations. We are moving into a new space, so there are a lot of new opportunities for volunteering. If you miss parts of culture, if you traveled somewhere and you're like, how do I stay connected? There are a lot of ways to do that. You can find us at centrohispanotn.org. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram, and you can also find us on our website.
Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month to everyone.
Coming up, we're visiting a house of worship where East Tennesseans of faith find common ground and share their beliefs as we celebrate Hispanic heritage in East Tennessee on 6 News. All across our area, more and more Spanish-speaking churches, Latino churches, are opening their doors.
Now, there's Ministerio Nueva on Kingston Pike, La Iglesia de Dios de la Profecía in East Knoxville, La Iglesia Caminando con Jesús on Millertown Pike, just to name a few, by the way. Many of the congregations at these churches are also growing, as I found out during a recent visit to a Spanish-speaking service. Members of the Tomas family are making their way to church. Andres Tomas says he and his family have been attending Mass at the Cathedral of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus for 15 years.
Every Sunday, and thankfully we can come with the entire family.
Andres, his wife, and children also come early to make sure they get a good seat. That's because every week, more than 1,000 people make up the congregation at the Knoxville Catholic Church. Andres says it's way bigger than it was a few years ago.
Before, not that many people came to church, but there are a lot of people now participating at the Sacred Heart.
Father Juan Mario Garcia agrees.
When the pandemic came to an end, the community grew even more. Every Sunday we have a full church.
Father Garcia says there are people from 13 different Spanish-speaking countries in the congregation.
When the people come for the Holy Communion, they leave filled with God, ready to give God to the world. And today, at this moment, more than ever, we need direct contact with God.
That's why Petra Monterosas says she attends church here.
The Spirit is here in the church. I like the peace primarily that the sermons convey to me.
Petra is originally from Mexico. She now lives in Morristown and makes the 1-hour drive every Sunday to the Knoxville church with her children and grandchildren.
I like the images. The church is beautiful. I really like to come here.
Father Garcia says immigration over the past 3 years into the United States is also playing a role in the growth of his congregation. But he adds, what they get from coming is what brings them back week after week. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
For more stories of Hispanic history, culture, and contributions, you can head to our website, WATE.com. We have a special section dedicated to Hispanic Heritage Month under the Community tab.
And from all of us at 6 News, thanks for watching and good night.